Hello there. I will be assuming you are a new player, and I will do my best to not overwhelm you with information while hopefully giving you somewhat of a direction and helping you out. If you still didn't pick a class, go to class selection and look through main and awakening windows. Pick what you think looks the coolest. It matters that you play something that looks appealing and interesting to you from a gameplay and aesthetic perspective. The videos that you looked at in class selection cover two different playstyles in the game. You unlock both of these at level 56, and they will drastically expand on your playstyle. I cannot emphasize this enough. Do not ask for a class recommendation from anyone playing this game, especially if a long time player. I will fully explain on why at the end of the video. What's the first thing you see? Seasons. Every new player will be aggressively hinted to participate in a season, whether by Pro Abyss or by other players. This has a bit of unmentioned benefits, and they come in the form of Season Pass and the main quest line, guiding you into BDO systems and mechanics. Now, it promises benefits, but it doesn't say what they are, so I'm gonna list the most important ones and move on. Accelerated progression. You will get a set of upgradable gear that can be upgraded during the season or until you graduate it. Graduating the season will require you completing the season pass. Each new step has a requirement that you must fulfill to progress it further down. Finishing the season fully is something veteran players will usually do too. It will give you certain rewards that you can't obtain outside of it. Lastly, when you graduate, you will be able to obtain a gift as well as keep your gear that you upgraded. If you don't know what to get for the gift, must say what everybody says. Get a Penka Potion necklace. Now, if you still don't want to do a season character or the season is not available at the moment, don't worry. It's not a mandatory thing, it's just a tool to give you some free starting gear and some quality of life stuff. And I highly advise you to not accept any power leveling offers offered by guildies or other players in the world. This is only if you still have one character that didn't do any of the quest lines. Just don't do it. You will end up overwhelmed by the combat system because skills unlock with levels. Alright, you will likely want to do the main quest line up to the end of Medaya for the first time on your main character. If you don't have a main, any character is fine. There are two reasons for this. The first reason is that you will be able to skip the main quest line on your next season. The second one, if you are on a season character, and you did complete the Medaya, you will unlock access to Tuvala gear. You can get it by enchanting Naru gear to pen and converting it to Pride Tuvala. You will get an automatic pop-up, so don't worry about missing it. This is a slightly abridged version. There's much to know, and I highly recommend filling out the game a bit before you open up a guide. Just don't graduate too early. Now, more general tips to improve your experience. Join a guild. This will probably enable you to interact with other players that won't mind helping you out. Aside from that, you will also get guild buffs, and while they're not the greatest thing in the game, they have the potential to be a huge help. On to the next one. Go to garmod.com. There are coupon codes that you can use for free rewards. This is how you will be getting most of your event rewards that are actually decent. You press escape, you go to adventurer support, claim coupon, and you type in or paste the code. Alright, having said that, there's item bloating in the game. You can get some extremely useful stuff that you might throw away because the game will keep throwing them at you. And as someone who got asked for help by his friends with this, I will show you how to expand the storage in your city with contribution points. You will get contribution experience from doing any sort of quests. Almost all of them give contribution experience, so don't worry about this. You click on a city, any city that you want your stuff based in. I recommend Heidel and Velia. You will have a selection of other stuff you can get, but just stick to the storage. It does exactly what it says. The higher the storage level, the more storage space you will get. There's sadly no shortcuts when talking about the items. You'll have to read most of them to understand what they do. If you don't want to read an item and what it does, just go to storage and plop it in. Keep this behavior to 1 or 2 cities that are close to each other for a while. I'll tell you why in a bit. What I am about to mention requires these quests completed. You will do these in order to get to Magnus of the Abyss. This questline will unlock fast travel and shared storage among the cities and towns, while also giving you a pen piece of gear. I recommend you grab Red Nose armor for later progression. I know the rewards are tempting, but keep in mind that most MMOs are malicious with quest lines that will give you a good piece of gear. Keep a slow pace and consult a guide or a video before you get stuck on it. So more general knowledge, hovering over the first quest in the quest chain, whether main or suggested, will tell you the requirements that you have to fulfill in order to accept it. And now the most fun part, settings. There's videos out there that cover this way better than I do. However, if you don't want to watch 30 minutes about what each option does, these are some general stuff. I recommend you turn combat assistance off. Now on the other side, I highly implore you to turn on aim assistance, especially if you are playing a class with ranged attacks. You can play without it, but aiming skills without aim assistance is a bit awkward, because the hitbox is below the monster's feet. If you feel dizzy after playing the game for a while, go to settings, performance settings, camera performance, and reduce the overall camera effects to 0. That should probably help you out. Okay, so this is from someone who spent a lot of hours in this game. If your class has big or shiny skills, you have a setting called effect transparency. Play around with it till you can see what's happening on the screen. Trust me, your eyes will thank you. Now on to the other stuff. If you go to general alerts, you can turn off the pop-up notifications at the top of your screen. Graphical presets. Low, medium, high, and very high don't use as much post-processing as remastered. That also translates into them giving you better visibility. Remastered will give you more vibrant effects and colors, but it sometimes has troubles with dark places and shadows being too dark. Also, one thing to note, if your PC is running the game easily and you like having eye candy, remastered is better optimized most of the time than very high quality. Alright. I know there are some people out there that are running the game on a Switch, I mean a toaster. Now I'm not making fun of you, I also started this game on a potato, with one RAM stick jammed into it. So let's go over some basics that are not so intuitive. Playing the game in full screen and removing unnecessary chat boxes. I don't know why these two give you a marginally better performance, but they do. And what will give you a significantly larger performance is going to game window, scrolling down and cropping your window on all sides. Now you don't have to do it by much, even 50 pixels will help you out hugely. Disabling the fairy, the others campsites, workers and pets will hopefully help you reduce the strain on your system. Small advice, I want to say that you don't need to do anything, nothing is a must, you don't need to rush anywhere. If you're overwhelmed with information, just go take a little break, go do something else, whether in the game or real life. Doesn't matter. This is only going to apply to especially curious people. So, be careful of asking questions. It will quickly lead into you getting confused because this game has unneeded complexity designed into it. I said that I will address the class selection process later. Now is later. So when I told you not to ask other players why or what class to pick, I had a good reason. And that reason is they are not the ones that will be staring at your character and its animations. It's incredibly easy to fall in the trap of wanting to play the best and the strongest, only to later get it nerf hammered in order to bring it down to par or below of the rest of the cast. Now obviously most of the classes are designed to appeal to you, and you have probably started liking a few of them when going through the class selection, so there is an easy way to try them out, and that is the next season that comes around. So before you do any rerolling, just wait for the season. You can try out 2 new characters per each season. Okay, so this is an MMO that's been around for a while, and it has insane amounts of content. Guides are how you will learn more about the game and improve on it. Just as I said, give it some time for the information to settle in. You're playing an MMO after all, so overload is bound to happen sooner or later. It is my honest opinion that this game has an amazing world, and I have many memories and experiences that will always end up bringing me back. If I didn't know any better, I'd say it's like a crack addiction, and like all addicts, I also want you to enjoy the game. Before I talk about pay to win, there's a system that will give you a currency called loyalties. I recommend you get inventory slots and weights from it first, then followed by family inventory and weight. This requires doing a quest, but it's account-wide inventory in simple terms. Now after that, last but not least, a character slot or an others band, and if you don't want those, you can just hoard them, okay? Hoarding them is good because this window can also sell costumes, pets, and other stuff from the Pro Shop. Speaking of which, lastly, there are so many videos of this game being pay to win. I feel like I need to touch this slightly. I spent around 300 to 400 euros on this game. Now for 3.3k hours, I find this is a very good trade-off for me. Yeah, I'm okay with this. However, hold off on swiping till you finish the season pass, because after the season pass you can get the glimpse of how the rest of the game is going to look. And if you decided to continue playing the game, the first thing I recommend you get is the Nafart's campsite. This is basically a tent. It offers you huge quality of life stuff like repairing anywhere, getting villa buffs, buying potions, stuff like that. There's two more things that might be advisable to get. However, please just settle on a character first. Say your main character that you spend the most time on progressing it. So, weights and celestial calling horn. That's it. Everything else you get through events and by doing the seasons. Having said all of that, this is indeed a pay-to-win game, and everyone who tells you otherwise is lying. I'm also interested in further helping you guys out. Leave a comment on what's the most confusing thing for you in this game, and I will do my best to address it, whether by video or whether by replying to the comments.